Assassin's Creed Shadows is a gorgeous video game where killing dudes and being sneaky feels better than any previous title in the franchise, but its open world follows in the footsteps of Assassin's Creed Valhalla by being weirdly sparse, especially when compared to the junk food level of dopamine offered by Origins and Odyssey's question mark laden maps. Enjoying Shadows' open world and enjoying its gameplay are inexplicably two separate things. So, that begs the question,
where's the fun? What's the gameplay loop? What does a 30-minute session look like?
Let's find out, baby.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is the fourth open-world RPG entry in the franchise, and is developed by Ubisoft Quebec, the same studio responsible for Syndicate and Odyssey. According to HowLongToBeat.com, Assassin's Creed Shadows' main story can be completed in around 35 hours. Its main story and side content can be completed in around 64 hours, and a completionist run will take around 97 hours to complete. That makes it slightly longer than Origins, slightly shorter than Odyssey, and substantially shorter than Valhalla. It takes about 1.5 hours to get through the game's prologue and to be let loose into the open world, and I'd say that accurately sets expectations for what the pace of the whole game is. Unlike Ghost of Yotei, a game that released within the same year and carries many similarities, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a slow game. Slow doesn't have to be a bad thing though. While a game like Ghost of Yotei seems designed to be as satisfying and short bursts as possible, Assassin's Creed Shadows' open world is best enjoyed like a leisurely walk. It's a shame then that playing this way ruins the gameplay loop. It took me about 60 hours to stop playing the game the same way I enjoyed Origins and Odyssey. Despite the massive size of those games' worlds, it was never hard to find a side quest or enemy camp to clear, and everything you did earned you XP, loot, and money, among other things. Better yet, I rarely needed to open the map, because in these games, you had a bird companion that could give you an overhead view at any time to scope out nearby points of interest. Valhalla kept the bird, but reduced its usefulness. It also had a much bigger world, but seemingly less to do in it. Unfortunately, Shadows has built off of Valhalla's foundation. No longer do you have a bird companion, and the open world is less dense than ever. Ever since the game first released, I've struggled with how it's meant to be played. Slowly working through the open world on foot allowed me to soak in the game's amazing visuals, and fully appreciate the game's dynamic weather and seasons system. But it would lead me to very few activities. Instead, I'd frequently bump into randomly generated roadside events where you need to kill a couple soldiers to save a peasant who rewards you with a new icon on your map, or small enemy camps with the same basic layout and rewards. In reality, the game's activities and quests are plentiful, but they're spread super far apart. Fast travel can often be used, but for unexplored areas, you're gonna have to make the journey, and that journey can take a while. The entire open world is built around the roads. Any points of interest appear as side roads that you may bump into as you're making your way to your next destination. After 60 hours of play, I finally figured out how the game is meant to be played. 1. Use the map and objective board to track an activity. 2. Turn on the Pathfinder. 3. Summon your horse and set it to automatically follow the roads. 4. Hop off your horse to investigate any interesting occurrences or points of interest you may bump into along the way. That covers the open world, but this game is also an RPG with loot, level ups, skill trees, and the whole kit and caboodle. In my opinion, the loot system is the best it's been in any of the Assassin's Creed RPG titles, and with it comes a bevy of awesome cosmetics thanks to a great transmog feature. Like all Ubisoft games, there is an in-game shop where you can spend real money for extra cosmetics and the such, but it hardly feels necessary with how many great outfits you get just by playing the game. The loot functions within a rarity system, like most games these days. Legendary loot, which is the highest rarity, are unique and won't spawn randomly. Rather, they can be earned as rewards for completing quests and clearing castles full of bad guys. Additionally, they can be found within legendary chests littered throughout the world. Any loot below legendary rarity is entirely randomly generated from its stats to its engravings. Engravings function as bonus perks that serve as the primary build crafting component of the game. Loot can be upgraded throughout the game, so you'll never have to abandon something you like as you continue to level up. Upgrading requires an assortment of materials that you naturally obtain as you play, but the costs continue to increase as you get higher in levels, and you'll eventually hit points where you may need to grind to stay on top of all of your gear. I don't mind this kind of thing, personally, but just a heads up if you do. Skill points are earned as you level up, but progression is blocked by your knowledge level. You must complete various open world activities and mini-games in order to raise this level, so a certain amount of open world tomfoolery is required to get stronger. I think incentive to explore the world is a good thing, so I can't complain. The activities that you must complete can be a bit shallow though. The best of them are these caves with some basic puzzle solving that you need to clear, and they're the closest thing the game has to dungeons. As an avid RPG enjoyer, I can't help but be a fan of that. The skill trees feature a healthy mix of basic stat and percentage increases, as well as new abilities and combat maneuvers. The game also lets you respec super easily, and it's always fun to go in and redo everything to maximize a new build if I ever found a cool new piece of loot or just wanted to try something different. Next, let's talk about the core verbs of the game, the stuff you'll actually be doing as you play. The two things you'll be doing more often than not are fighting and sneaking. Both the combat and stealth have been improved from the previous Assassin's Creed RPG titles. In my opinion, stealth in particular is worlds better than it's ever been in the entire franchise. If I had to pick 3 reasons why that is, it would be Naoe's ability to go prone, the use of lighting and shadows as a gameplay component, and enemy AI that will put up a bit more of a fight than they have in the past, such as preventing you from successfully pulling off a stealth kill if you approach head-on, or being more diligent about checking hiding spots while they're searching for you. On Nightmare difficulty, which I prefer to play on, enemies can even spot you if you're above their direct line of sight. Rooftops aren't so safe anymore. Combat is more punishing than ever, difficulty setting depending, of course, as most enemies have an armor meter that must be broken before you can deal direct damage, and enemies will attack you at the same time. This is a good thing for 3 reasons. 1, it makes stealth feel more necessary. 2, it makes build crafting more appealing, as it's fun to see if you can become strong enough to dominate in open combat. And 3, if push comes to shove, there's always Yasuke. That's right, Assassin's Creed Shadows has a second playable character with his own unique playstyle, loot pool, and skill tree. He's much more capable in open combat than Naoe, but on Nightmare difficulty, he still could get crushed if I tried to sprint into a castle and take everyone on all at once. The last thing I'll say about the gameplay is that, just like Valhalla before it, you have a hideout that you should be visiting and upgrading as you play the game. I haven't found it to be too compelling, but it is a thing that the game has. The bottom line is that the gameplay loop is fun, but the open world activities do struggle with a feeling of repetition. The way the open world is designed makes me feel punished for trying to immerse myself in it. Rather, the game requires you to frequently open the map and either fast travel to or have your horse automatically guide you to stuff to do. Despite this, the graphics in this game are so incredibly good that sometimes I just want to forget the progression and quests and just take a walk. And often it's these moments that are the most enjoyable for me. Now that we've covered the gameplay loop, let's answer our final question. What does a 30-minute session look like? I conducted 3 different 30-minute tests. One where I just wandered the open world aimlessly, one where I started out wandering aimlessly and then fast traveled to a castle and cleared it out, and one where I tracked a quest from my map and rode my horse, stopping along the way if something caught my eye. The third test felt the best to play and felt the most satisfying, but it still felt like 30 minutes wasn't an ideal length of time for a play session. The game does have a pseudo live service component that does lend itself well to quick play sessions though. There are weekly quests that reward you with XP and a sort of battle pass progression. Yes, this game has a battle pass of sorts. They're free and never expire though, so I think it's just a nice bonus thing in the game to enjoy. On the topic of how the game functions like a live service, it has continued to get substantial updates since release. They raised the level cap and added a meaty new game plus mode that actually makes enemies stronger and elongates the RPG grind if you want it. They improved how the climbing and parkour controls, they added a new expansion, and much more. Ubisoft always seems dead set on trying to add as much value and content to their games as possible in a non-predatory way, at least in my opinion, and I really respect them for that. Ultimately, the game does demand some time from you, but if you were to only focus on the quick weekly quests when you have less time, and focus on completing regular quests and activities and exploring the world when you have more free time, I think you'll be satisfied. So, where's the fun? It's there, but you may have to spend some time looking for it.